Kiddush Levana last night. So V'hayla Oisos, sanctifying the new moon, is that once the moon gets at least 3 days of size, you're sanctifying the new moon, and the Jewish people are compared to the moon. And that just like we wane, and things get challenging for us, soon enough we're going to wax again, and the moon will get big and big. And then what we speak about is in the end of days, we'll see that the moon will no longer wane anymore. It will just get big and it'll become as big as the sun. Shnei ma'oros hagadolim. So it says like this. V'hayu la'oisos, and these will be now signs. Lima'oros b'rekia hashamayim la'hoyer ala oretz v'yichein. And God set up these lights that they should be signs. Tesfa, v'hayu la'oisos. That these ma'oros are going to be like signs for the world. That the constellations, we're going to use them as like signposts. They're going to guide us. They're going to teach us things. Kishima'oros loikin. Now this is interesting. When the ma'oros are loikin. What's loikin mean? When the ma'oros are loikin, which means if there is eclipses. I mean, these will be signs for you. Having a sun in the sky, having a moon in the sky.
Is that Rashi?
Rashi. But if you see that there's going to be eclipses, simin rahu la'olam, it's not a good sign. Eclipses are not generally great. They imply that these symbols are now getting injured. They're getting affected. Obviously, they're not affected, but they're all symbology for us down here. And that's the way Hashem set up the world. And you have to know people who really know how to interpret this. They have you Tweetabug 472, and she says on her horoscope blog what it all means. It has to be those who are the Yoidei Bina. It's really the tzaddikim that know and understand this. And he brings Shanamar from the Pasuk in Yirmiyahu, El derech hagoyim al til madu, meaning, that meaning that Hashem set up that the constellations would be teaching us things. They would be teaching us things. Astrology? That's for sure astrology. And you see that even though that we do look at the signs, what did we have in last week's parsha? We saw from Avram Avinu, we saw from Abraham, where Hashem said to Abraham, it's such beautiful lines. In Lech Lecha, what did we see? Where did we see that Avram Avinu was shown something? So he said like this.
Oh, the stars.
We're in Bereshis 15:15. Yud-K. And then 1. 15:1. So Hashem came to Avram in a vision, saying, Al tira Avram, do not be afraid. I will protect you, and your merit will be great. The Yomer Avram, and he says, Hashem, ma titen li, va'anochi hoylech hariri. What will you give to me? I'm going to go without children. Uben ben meshek beisi hu demesek Eliezer. All that I have is demesek Eliezer. All that I have is my great servant Eliezer. The Yomer Avram.
I saw something real quick. Sorry, was Eliezer Nimrod's son?
There is such an opinion. And that he was giant.
Yeah, Og. That's Og, right? Giant. The whole thing is Og.
That's right. Maybe he was Og.
What?
V'yomer Avram, hein li loino sato zara, v'hine ben beisi yoyer shoisi. I don't have a child. V'hine dvar Hashem elav lemar lo yirashcha ze ki im asher yetzim meyecha hu yirashecha. You will have someone that will inherit. V'yotzi oisa achutza. He's speaking also about that Sarah is barren. and he takes him chutza. What does it mean he takes him chutza? Simple meaning, take the tent. The yomer, and he says, Habeit no hashamayma. Go and look at the stars. Usfor hakoychavim im tucha lispor oisam. And Hashem says, go count the stars. If you could count them.
Why does he say that? It's like, I don't know.
It sounds like, yeah, let's see if you can pull this one off. The yomer loy koye zarechem. And this will be your children, as numerous of the stars. So everyone asks, what do you mean? God takes them outside and says, go look at the stars. And says, count them, if you can. Well, Avram Avinu believed that if God said, go count the stars, so what's he going to do? He'll go start counting. And he started counting. 1, 2, 3. It's impossible. So Hashem says to Avram, if you will attempt the impossible, I will make that you are a person that can achieve the impossible. That's what we're made of. Go out. Start trying to do the impossible. Count the stars. Now, there's important Rashis here. Very important Rashis. The Yoitze Oisa Achutza. And God took him outside. Lefi Pshutoi, the simple meaning, Hoitziu Me'oyle Lechutz. He took him from inside the tent to outside the tent. That's the simple meaning. Leroy Sakoicham, we're in Rashi. Just to see the stars, start counting the stars. Ulefi Medrashai, according to the Medrash, that Avram Avinu was looking with Chochma, meaning he was talking to God and he was looking in his mind and he said, according to Chochma, according to me understanding my mazal, bless you, I'm looking at the constellations because we're like speaking about that the constellations are organizing and deciding the powers that are going to flow into the world. What does the word mazal mean? You say mazel tov. Flow doesn't mean 3 cherries in a slot machine. Oh, mazel tov, you should get 3 cherries in a slot machine. And then you did good, you know what I'm saying, with the slot machine? Don't play slots. So what is mazal tov? So like Eliyahu said, mazel means the flow. So Avram was looking up at the night sky, and he understood that the constellations are more than just dots in the sky, they're teaching us things. And he said, I'm looking at the flow. My wife Sarah cannot have a child. It's not possible. So he was looking at the stars. He was looking at the flow. The mazal, which is a lashon of nozel, to flow down. He was looking at what was nozel from Shammai. So he said, I can't have kids. So Amar Loi, Hashem said, Sem itstagninu shelcha. Go out from your astrology. Go out from you think that this is all that there is. Ain't mazal Yisra. You're above the stars. You think that because you looked in your stars, you think that you can't have a kid? Avram ein loy ben. You're right, Avram doesn't have a child. Aval Avraham with a hey, yesh loy ben. He has a child. And you're right, v'chein Sarai loy seled. You're right, Sarai with the yud will not give birth. Aval Sarah Taled. Ani koyre lachem shem acher v'yishtane hamazel, which is also one of the proofs here. You change your name, you change your mazel. Be careful that we don't take name changing very lightly. It's a very serious thing. A person feels like they want a new name. Very serious because it changes everything. It changes the mazel. That's the first pshat in the Medrash. The second pshat, the second explanation, davar acher. When it said Hashem took him chutza, it said he literally took him out of the atmosphere.
Above the stars.
Above the stars. Not in the atmosphere. He took him out of the solar system. Took him out of the galaxy. He took him out of everything. Took him above, so much so that he could look down. He could be above the stars to see the way that Hashem sees. He took him literally out of the universe. And he said, you're right from your perspective, going down, up, you're not having kids. But if you see the world through my eyes, anything is possible. So when did this all start? Right now, in Project Bereshis, what we're learning, my friends. In this section, where Hashem is setting them in the sky, the constellations, and they mean something. But don't think you're ever stuck. If Tweedledbug 472 tells you this is your horoscope and you're stuck in it, don't listen to it.
Isn't that the Rambam's view? They're like, I know he says some certain stuff about astrology, like people often say that he doesn't believe in astrology, but isn't it that he just thinks like it exists, but it doesn't mean you're right.
You're not bound by it. You're not bound by it. He talks about the Galgalim, he talks about the Rambam has a very deep section at the beginning of Yesodei HaTorah, the Yefilin, which is complex and deep.
Read the book Kosher Astrology.
Okay, so we go on. Ulamoy These were going to be Lamo'adim, Al Shema Osad Shasidin Yisrael Yitztavois Alamoy Adam. Hashem was already hinting to the fact that the Jewish nation is going to be commanded to have the festivals. The Mo'adim, Agud Moed, Cholamoid, the Heim Nim Lamoyled HaLavana, and the Jewish nation, Be'ikr, is counted by the moon. Do we have a solar calendar or a lunar calendar?
It's a mix.
We have a both. We have a solar lunar calendar mixed together.
Why?
Because we have to always keep the holiday of Pesach in the spring. And if you only had a lunar calendar, then your festivals would change in the season. That's right, like Ramadan will come out anytime, sometimes in the summer, sometimes the winter, spring, fall. We need to always keep Pesach, as the Torah says, Chodesh HaAviv, in the month of the springtime. So Pesach has to come out. So this was already hinting, Rashi says, that the Jewish nation will have Mo'adim.
Does the Torah tell us what sort of calendar we need to have?
Yes, it tells us how to count.
And that's how we got the mix of the
Solar and a lunar calendar. Now, one of the secrets is to make a combination between the solar energy and the lunar energy. There's a lot of Torah and Zivugim. That's right. To connect the ideas of what it means a solar calendar, which is the power of male energy, and the lunar calendar, which is a female energy. Yes, the sun is compared to a male energy, and the moon is compared to a female energy.
Is that a lunar eclipse also?
Also, eclipses are very significant.
I'm saying because it's lunar.
A lunar eclipse is going to have an effect on feminine energy, and a solar eclipse is going to be an effect on male energy. Everything is.
Do you reckon there was an eclipse around is there an eclipse around the feminism?
There have been, but that would be the opposite, is that you would see more energy growing. And one of the things that we say in Kiddush Levana is that we say that Or HaLevana Kieh Ka'or HaChama, that the light of the moon will be as strong as the sun. And that means that feminine energy will get big in the world. But it will get big and will have,
in terms of like,
it could either go in a positive direction
right,
or,
So it means
and then Rashi goes on.
Well, the Shekhinah will be able to like.
That's the ultimate of the moon will get big.
ultimate,
Yeah.
functionality.
In Kutshabrichu Shchinte, the Jewish nation, Shechina. So look at now the next pasuk. V'yas Elokim es shnei ha'ma'oros ha'gedolim, es ha'ma'or ha'godol lememshelas hayoyim, v'es ha'ma'or ha'kotan lememshelas halayla, v'es ha'koychavim. And God made the two. Now pay attention to the wording here. Tell me if you think that there's an anomaly.
Great luminaries, so the sun and the moon are the same size.
God made two big luminaries. The big one to be in charge of the day, and the small one to be in charge at night, and their stars. Wait a second. Let's rewind that again. And God made two big luminaries. The big one and the small one. Didn't you just tell me he made two big ones? So how do we understand this? Did he make two big ones? Did he make a big one and a small one?
Too big.
Why can't they both be big?
Because then the pasuk says that he made a big one and a small one. He made two big ones, a big and a small. We ask our friends around the world. God made two big luminaries, a big and a small. So what happened to one of them? How did it get small?
They clashed.
Oh, it was definitely a clash. Clash. So says Rashi, "Ha'ma'oros ha'gedolim." So first it says that God made two big ones, then it says he made a big one and a small one. So Rashi says, "Shavim nivru." God made them both the same. They were the same. And then v'nismata halavana. Then God made the moon smaller. Why would God have made the moon smaller? So there's a famous Gemara here in Chulin about the conversation between the sun and the moon and God. It's a very deep thing. Constellations having discussions. Now we don't mean that a rock is talking, even though God could make that if he wanted, but we mean the constellations represent angelic energies. And those forces which in their end represent and present as luminaries. When we say men are from Mars and women are from Venus, we don't actually mean that you're like hanging out on that planet. We just mean that there's an energy associated with those places, and those energies are angelic, and those angelic forces are talking, communicating. So there was a communication between the energies of the moon and the energies of the sun and God. And it went like this. Al shekitraga ve'amra, because the moon said the following thing. Efshar l'shnei malachim sheyishtamshu bekeser echad. It's impossible for two kings to share one crown. What do you guys make of that?
Amen. This world's not big enough. This town's not big enough for the two of us.
Two kings ruling one kingdom.
And the kingdom being what, the day, or like what? Because like
The kingdom being
the
creation, because God then separates them. You're going to be during the day, you're going to be during the night.
Yeah, so
He made them the same things, like two light
Two,
sources.
says Rashi, shavim.
But the sun is really hot and the moon apparently.
They would have been the same. They would have been the same. Shavim. They would have been the same.
Eliyahu made a really good point saying that he's like, you remember what you said? I remember what you said. It's like, imagine if there was no night, which is day all the time. I was thinking, if the sun and the moon were the exact same size, the sun would reflect so hard into the moon, and really when it would be nighttime, it would actually be daytime. It would just be going around like this. Because the reflection would be such a mass that really the earth
Was
would be white.
was the moon a reflector before it got shrunk? The moon does not have any of its own light now, right? The light that the moon has is only what it receives from the sun. It's a receiver. It's a receiver, and then it reflects back.
The moon is female energy, is it?
The moon is very female. Very female. Extremely female. For a lot of reasons. We can have we can spend a week talking about how women and the moon are deeply connected. Besides just their cycles.
So much, yeah.
But it's beyond. No, men also have female elements to them. But I mean as like a dominant trait, a dominant energy, women are deeply connected to the moon. A man could also feel connected, but not like a woman. A woman is very connected. Now, one of the things that's sad is in our generation, females have become kind of pulled away from moon energy. And there's a lot of reasons for that. And so there's a lot of challenge with women's cycles being not as healthy as they used to be. It's because losing connection, holy female energy with the moon. And it's very important that we start to become in touch with moon female energy once again. Very, very important.
It came from like I guess that whole thing, it came from like a lot of these things that come from good bases. Like people are trying to make improvements to the world, but sometimes it goes in a different direction.
That's right. The main thing is shekol ma'asecha l'shem shemayim. Just try to do everything for the sake of heaven, and then good things generally will come from that. So you can't have two sheriffs in one town, right?
But it's kind of like they.
But what's the problem with that question? Is it not a good question? Is it not a good statement? You're right. You can't have two kings with one crown. So I heard a nice answer to the moon from one of my rabbanim from the Mir. So he said, God said back to the moon, he said, who said you're a king?
Yeah, I was about to say that.
You're coming to me, you have two sheriffs in one town. Well, calm down. You're taking that as an assumption. Who said you're a king?
But the moon said that?
No, God said that
No,
back to the moon.
It was the moon, and the moon was punished by being smaller? Is that it?
Yeah, because the moon came with like a...
Oh, guybered it.
It came, I mean, it was making a good point. You can't have two kings with one crown. There can't be two sheriffs in one town.
Like no one said that they were kings.
Who said that you're a sheriff to begin with? You're coming with this as an assumption, which means something in the female energy had this assumption. And therefore the moon was shrunk. But the moon is going to get big again. The moon's going to be very big. The moon's going to be very, very big. Female energy is going to be so big in the world. I'm seeing that it could either go on the side of holiness, holy female energy coming to the world, which is Eishes Chayla Teres Bala, that a righteous woman is a crown on top of her husband's head. She's even higher. She's greater than the husband. She's like the crowning jewel, something even beyond whatever he could achieve. But on the other side, it could be something not so good. It could be not so good. And as we're getting towards the end of days, mamish, we're in the end of days now, we're going to see this female energy growing in the world. And we celebrate the female energy. And ultimately, like Yarden said, the female energy is the Shechina Kedosha, is the return of the divine female presence in the world, which is really Hashem revealing in this world, is a female energy. And therefore, when people say, you know what, why does it always say he? You know, God, I don't like that. It should say he, she for God. Well, the answer is, it is. We do say she. The Shekhinah, when we talk about God coming into the world, revealing into the world, we say she. And therefore, a person has to know, when is it appropriate to say he, referring to God as mashpia, as giving, and where is it appropriate to say she? It's masculine, but the hey is feminine, the hey achroina. It's both, that's the whole thing. The yud and the hey and the vav is masculine, certainly the vav is very masculine, the daila maven, and the hey is the makabel.
The last day.
The last day, the hey achroina, is malchus, is the shechina. Pardon? Is feminine, because it's malchus mamish. That's why Adnut goes inside the Hey Achroina. It's like in there. The woman is the Malchus. She is kingship. That's revealed energy in the world. It's revealed energy. Eishes Chayla Teres Bala. That the righteous woman is is even greater than the husband.
But in marriage, no one's meant to be more dominant than the other. No one's meant to be great. No one's meant to be greater than the other.
Each in a marriage, each one has a role. In a marriage, each one has a role to play. There's a male role, there's a female role, and then they work together. And they build something great called a ben. That's children. They build something that's greater than the sum of their parts. That's really what holy marriage is all about. They're building something even greater. And God also made the constellations, the koichavim. Look at this. Because God made the moon small, God gave the moon lots of stars to work with it, to be like its lahapis daita, in order to calm her das. So what is this? Like, what is the gift that you get? Like, the prize at the end, the participation trophy? Like, everyone's a winner. Now that's what it's about?
Obviously not.
There's something very deep here that Hashem, lahapis daita, in order to calm the das of the Levana. We ask our friends, what do you say? How do we understand what God is calming the Levana, the moon? After the moon was shrunk, and God is calming the Levana. These are things in Kabbalah. These are...
Could the stars be like your children?
Stars are serving. The stars are like they're surrounding. They're like also almost like adornments. And then the pasuk goes on. And God placed them in the heavens. Why are they there? To create illumination on the land. To have power by day and by night, and to separate between light and darkness. V'yar Elokim ki tov, and God saw that it was good. Vayi'er v'yivoker yom revi'i, and that's the end of the fourth day.
The stars be like was it the word ornaments, like a gift or something, like jewelry or whatever.
They are. They look like diamonds.
Yeah.
They sparkle. I don't know many women that wouldn't appreciate diamonds. And the ones that say, "Nah, you don't need to get me diamonds,"
They want that.
I'm sure they'll be happy.
They want the ones who say they want.
There's a reason why there's still, the diamond industry is still in business all these years later. Gold and diamonds, and chocolate, and flowers. Ideally organic, fair trade. Try to get the best sources possible.
Maybe when it says like the moon is like calming down, could that be like at some point like the big feminist energies like we say over that something to calm that down and bring it back to it?
I think so. We are going to see in the end of days that the moon, we said this in Kiddush Levana last night, that the moon is going to be restored to its former glory, but in a healthy way. That's also why one of the minhagim that we do after Kiddush Levana, notice this, they still people like dance and also checking their tzitzis. Like, why are you guys looking at your tzitzis for? Like fixing your tzitzis, shame it's a tzitzis. The answer is because we say that the light of the moon is going to be like the light of the sun, that's going to be so bright, so even at night, that's right, we're even checking our tzitzis at night.
I've never seen that.
You got to hang around the right crowd. Kiddush Levana.
I like the dancing there, it's cute.
Sweet, right? Okay, let's just start day 5 for a minute. Because day 5 is when things are getting a bit, things are getting active here. And now all of a sudden we have that the waters are going to be teeming with life. The waters are going to be teeming with life. And we're going to have bird life. Al Panei Rikia Shemaim, we're going to have birds filling the sky. Says Rashi, Nefesh Chaya. Okay, friends, this is very important because we're really going to see, once we get to man, once we get to Adam and Eve, we're really going to see what was Adam. Was he Homo sapien? Was he caveman? Was he already conscious, sentient being? In which way was man connected to the animal kingdom, in which way not? So the big words you have to pay attention to as you go through it is nefesh and chaya, living, animating soul. Because you see that the Yomer Lakim Yishutzu Ramayim shares nefesh chaya, these are living souls, these are moving. It's not just plant life. There's active life. A dolphin is not.
What are you saying now?
Is that I'm starting to clue us into that once we get to man, we have to be aware that what identifies man as man as opposed to an animal. And which ways do we have similarities to the animals? So nefesh chaya are going to be big words. We see this now appearing in the Chumash. Nefesh chaya.
The breath of life. Did Hashem also like blow a breath into animals?
He didn't blow it.
Like, they
He
have
did not blow
souls,
it.
but like not really.
They have souls, but their soul comes from God's speech, whereas the human soul comes from God's breath. And we'll have to talk about the difference between speech and breath. Everything is vayomer. The one thing in creation is that's not from God speaking, but rather from God breathing. And this is all from the Balatanya, the second parak. That's right. Man de nofach mitoichei nofach. Someone who blows from their inner essence. So we have to understand how God is blowing into the human being from his inner essence. And with the animals, he's speaking everything into existence.
But what about like people who say amazing Torah from their soul, like who speak it? That's
Very good. It's telling you where it's coming from, where their essence is coming from. There is a place that we go to the highest place where we blow. That's on Rosh Hashanah, when we blow the shofar. We're literally blowing the soul back to you, Hashem, that you gave to us. Because Adam was the first shofar. Adam was the shofar. God blew into Adam. Adam is the shofar.
so Hashem spoke so
He blew
into the animals.
into Adam. Adam is the shofar. And what day did he blow Adam the shofar? Rosh Hashanah.
Whoa, that's
Adam is the shofar. You're a shofar. You understand that? God is blowing through you at all times. You just have to listen, right? The bracha is lishmoa kol shofar. It's not litkoa shofar. It's lishmoa. Can I hear that there's a shofar sound that is coming out of me right now? Do I hear it? I'm too busy with just all the distractions and all the white noise and all the static of the world.
Is it also like what he did intended like?
Yeah. Well, his tkiyas
Would it be
Hashem
like
knows how to give
shadow?
his tkiyas.
Whoa.
A tkiya, you know what a tkiya is?
But for the animals would have been like he would have looked at the dust and like thought it and spoken. Would have
Spoken,
popped out.
yes, he spoke.
What, the soul?
The soul is from breath. So we're
And
still a
then what
long
is
way
that?
from
What do the
that.
animals have? Just one more time.
God speaks them into existence.
Speaks, but they still have a soul, you said.
They have a soul, but not the godly soul. That's why there's a difference. A dolphin has a soul. It's an animal soul. When you look at a horse, you ever like spend time with horses? You look in their eyes. There's a lot there.
Yeah, there is.
There's depth. There's depth. Swim with dolphins. It's amazing. Swimming with dolphins is amazing. You look at them in the eye, and you're like, bro.
They're smarter than
I know you know that I know.
And then he's like, yeah.
And it's like,
smarter than some
and winks at you or something,
Dolphins are smarter than some
Like makes that noise.
and you know that he knows something that you know. It's for real. They know. They know.
Even cows are very, very smart.
They're holding in the sugya.
Every single
They're
day,
holding.
Same one will come up to you and like recognize you, look into you, and like give you faces and stuff.
They know.
No, they know. They're very smart.
They know.
Very smart.
Cow's eyes are
Where's
crazy.
where's the blowing?
Cows are amazing, man. They can see in like 100
Where's the blowing
for.
for?
That's
You're saying they like
already
your
coming
soul.
up here. Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. It's not
Man in the garden.
That's deep.
Okay, Rabbi Isai.
It's very deep.
So just pay attention. Mirza Hashem, we're going to continue this very soon. Because now we're moving into the next phase. We're moving to the day 5 of creation. And we're starting to see, though, why did I bring this up? Because we're starting to see animated life. Nefesh chaya. We're seeing animated life that is alive. Says Rashi, Shiyeh b'chayis. That God is now creating creatures that have the breath of life in them. We're starting to see creatures that have animation, which are closer to humans, because now we have nefesh chaya. We have something that's alive, that has a soul. There's some level of a soul. So we're going to see, that's why I said just pay attention to these words, nefesh chaya, as we get close to Adam. and we're going to see everything's going to open up. Let's just see another line.
Wait, so what does that it mean by Omer Elokim Yishritzu?
Pardon?
What does that line mean in full? The nefesh with the nefesh chaya?
Chaya here means not that it is a beast, if you will, because the chayas only come on the sixth day, but it has chiyas, has creatures that are breathing, living creatures. That's what it means. Souls that are alive.
Which mean what?
All of these creepy crawlies.
Like birds?
So specifically we see it, Yishutz Ramayim Sheretz Nefesh Chaya.
Like flies.
The oif ya oif fala arts. First it goes just by the creepy crawlies. All of these Yishritzu Amayim, that the waters will get filled with all sorts of fish and all sorts of stuff. All the creepy crawlies.
Creatures that are anatomical.
Pardon?
Anatomical. They can do and do things in the air like a tree.
That's
Stuck
right.
in one place.
Then we see that there's going to be birds, sheretz. Kol davar chai she'ena gavoya min ha'aretz. What's a sheretz? Usually say like rodents, lizards, shrutzim, creepy crawlies. So anything which is not up so high above the ground, the Torah calls a sheretz. A sheretz is not good. When we talk about like tum and tahara, it's a sheretz. It's like a dead rat. It's a sheretz. You don't want to touch a sheretz. A dead creepy crawly thing. That's why you put the picture of the Rebbe, of the Reb Shaila. He chases away all the shrutzim, right?
Is that a thing?
Shaila Karastir, yeah, Pasha. Okay, so that's a sheretz. Be'oif, birds. Now we see all of a sudden aviation. We see oif, kagoin zevuvim. We see flies, bishkotzim, all these little animals, kagoin nemolim, like ants, v'chipushim, v'toilan, worms. We're seeing like life that's moving. The b'riyos, kagoin, and then we have bigger ones, like choled, v'achbar, v'choymet, v'kayotze behem, hadagim, fish, rodents. All of this life is now starting to creepy crawl in the world. Because God said, let there be. Shrotzim, v'yomer Elokim, let there be. And look at the next verse, and we'll end with this. Hataninim. So this verse is next level, my friends. V'yivru Elokim es hataninim agadolim. And God is making the big taninim.
Lizards.
The giant
Dinosaurs?
dinosaurs. Does he say dinosaur though?
No.
Definitely not.
All the creeping living creatures.
No, but the
The
taninim.
large sea fish.
The large sea fish. We'll see in Rashi what this is. And this gets its own line. God, v'yivra lakim esataninim agadolim. Its own line, its own pasuk. And God made these two, the big sea creatures. We'll see in a
Isn't
second.
there one of them that has like a name?
Oh, we'll see it in a second. Yes. V'yes kol nefesh achai. Then we're back to nefesh achaya. Again, living creatures. Haroimeses asher shartzu hamayim lemineim. V'yes kol oif konaf lemineo. All the birds. V'yar lakim kitov. And he said it saw that it's good. Very much so. Taninim. And God is making, what are these taninim? Says Rashi, dagim gedolim shebiyam. Giant sea creatures. Giant sea creatures.
That's according to Rashi.
Rashi based on the Gemara and Bava Basra. Now why do these creatures get their own pasuk?
Why do they say sea creatures? That could be dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm fine with dinosaurs. I don't have a problem with dinosaurs.
So where do they get sea creatures? Sea.
From the Gemara and Bava Basra. The Gemara and Bava Basra.
Where did they get it from?
From the Masorah. From Moshe at Sinai. And the entire Jewish people receiving the Torah Mount Sinai. Ubedivrei Agoda, so says Rashi.
Oh, it right after that it says all the creeping living creatures that the waters produce.
Yeah.
So it's talking about water probably.
Yeah. So look at this. Ubedivrei Agoda. We're definitely in the water sugya here. And we're in the sky, which is interesting. You see water and sky. But Divrei Agada, so Rashi points out the Gemara in Bava Basra, which was a lot amazing Agada to Gemaras there, not Gemara in Bava Basra. Hu Leviathan uben Zugai. This is the Leviathan.
Yeah.
This is where the world gets Nessie from, the Loch Ness monster. No, I'm not playing. That's where they get Nessie from.
That is so long. Wow.
Lucky?
That's,
Very lucky still around.
this is where they get Loki from. The Emes. Okay? This is the Loch Ness monster. It's from the Leviathan. This is the Makor. This is their source. So, Shebaram Zachar and Akeva, that God created the Leviathan, male and female. There's actually, they're a pair, male and female. They were created male and female. V'harag es nekeva, and God shechted the nekeva umelacha. There's two. There's a male one and a female one. Hashem shechted the nekeva, the female one, and salted it, made it into herring. We'll talk about this in a moment.
What?
A giant herring. Litzadikim la'asid lavai. For the tzadikim in the time to come. And when do we associate?
To eat?
To eat, for sure.
Oh,
So it's a kosher thing. It had gills.
Kosher.
This lock, whatever.
I'm only saying shechted. Hashem said harag, not shechted. Harag.
I mean, it's
Because you don't need a shech. That's it.
Yeah, so I thought it was like.
And we talk about the Leviathan when? Which holiday? Sukkot. When you say goodbye to the Sukkah, you say that we should be zoycha to the Suda shel Leviathan.
So we made two of these.
So why did he take out
Monsters.
one? You might ask the question. So the answer is she'im yifru v'yirbu, that if they would reproduce,
The world would have got crazy.
that's right. Lo yiskayim ha'olam b'fneim, the world could not continue. So it says taninim ksiv. It's missing a yud. Missing a yud in the word taninim
So
to point out that one of them was shechted.
Why did Hashem just make one then? Like, that's just sad.
Well, it's not, because it's going to be for the Suda, for the tzaddikim l'asad lava.
But what about the guy that's still, I don't know where he is right now.
The other one, I don't know, some fisherman had a few sightings.
It's down to
And
the bottom of the earth. Sleep. That's why when it wakes up, because we're doing our big off, we get earthquakes.
What?
so you should know, I heard a very deep explanation of what is the Suda Leviathan. So Ishmael said the Suda Leviathan is, sometimes you try to do good in this world, and you have good thoughts and you have well-intending motives, but just to use a very modern example, you just get lazy and watch Netflix. You wanted to change the world, you wanted to help humanity, but then your favorite show came on, and you just, you're like, I guess I'll help humanity tomorrow. Motivation, killer, Netflix. But you did have a good motivation to do something. So do you think that all those good motivations are just somehow lost?
No.
All those good motivations, God sees them. And even though you didn't actualize them, and you're not going to get reward for actualizing them, but all those good motivations are never lost. Every one of those good motivations, you're going to see that they did do things in the upper worlds. You experiencing all those good motivations is called eating the Suda of the Leviathan, is tasting that you did help the world in some way. And even though that you thought that all those good thoughts were lost, they're never lost. They didn't do what they could have done if you would have actually followed through. But don't think that any good thought is ever lost. And to remember that, many times a good thought will lead you to do tshuva fully. But never think that a good thought is lost.
A good thought it's eternal, because it means there's something there's something deep, there's something deep inside you that wants you to be good.
That's right.
It's a moment of realization.
That's
You get
right.
a moment like
I want to be better.
Yeah.
I want to be better.
Is it the same for the bad thought? Never was.
No, bad thoughts, no.
To Chaim,
Bad thoughts, no, because you're doing tshuva. A person had the thought, it's not good, but then he changed it. Bad thoughts, no. Bad thought is only if you do it, God forbid. but bad thoughts usually lead to. That's why don't even have the bad thoughts. Stay away from bad thoughts. Okay, boys, time. Let's say our Tehillim and get into the Gemara. 975. You're a shofar.
I love it.
So far.
These are things that topics that we have to know because it's mamish the basics. Oishir lamalo zayna yeli yayin yavo ezri leim Adonai osei shomayim v'oretz aritem lamod raglecha al yanum shovlecha hinena yanum v'lo isham shemei Yisrael Adonai shemerecha Adonai tzilecha al yad yeminecha Yoimam hashemesh lo yakeka v'yareyach b'layla Adonai yishmocha mikol yishmor es nafshecha Adonai yishmor zezlo v'yecha me'adon v'yad olam Shkoyach HaBoisai Hatzlocha Rabba